Hello everyone. I want to show the two ways that I teach the backhand, and I teach it this way to beginners, but I also work with people on intermediate and advanced as well. One of them is a two-handed backhand that is more, it's a flatter shot, more aggressive, and the other one is a two-handed backhand with topspin. The one that people struggle the most, especially beginners or intermediates, is the one where they want to put more spin, like they kind of don't have an idea, what am I going to do different on the swing in order to put more spin to that ball, be more consistent, or be more aggressive. So there are two very simple things that I talk about, that I show him how we're going to control the racket, especially after contact, in order to put more spin on the ball, if you want to be more consistent on rallies, or if you want to be more aggressive, and it's saying you're inside the court and put that ball away. And the first thing that we do is I have him starting in this position with the head of the racket low. And the one thing that we're gonna focus is, we know that the left hand is gonna go top to bottom, then high. Anytime I teach someone, on especially on the beginners, I never start teaching the full swing all the way from here on the backhand or the forehand or the serve. I go from making the swing very short, pretty much almost making contact with the ball, and then we start extending it until we get to full swing. But talking specifically about being more consistent, hitting top spin or hitting the ball flat on the backhand, this is what we do. I start with them with the racket in this position. The head of the racket is low, and what I want to pay attention is I want to cock the left wrist, and I'm going to have the left wrist below the right hand. Now, when they hit the ball from here, the one thing that you want to pay attention is how is the racket going to look after contact. When I make contact with the ball, if the racket comes around and my racket is more pointing straight forward and lower, that kind of shot is going to be flatter. That is going to be more aggressive shot. That's what I'm talking about. The swing, that it goes more like that. Now, when you make contact with the ball, if that racket, when the racket is crossing in front of you after contact, instead of that racket crossing in this position, it's going to be higher and more showing you the strings. That's going to be more top spin. That's the easy way to just add more spin. This is how you want to look at how you want to look when you put more spin on that ball. I'm going to stop the racket in front of me so you can see the difference from the flat ball to the ball with top spin. So if you notice, the racket goes more upward, and when it crosses in front of you, the more you see the strings, the more you're going to brush. You don't want to brush the ball and have the strings completely facing you, because that means that you're probably going to be very prone to mishit. So it's okay that you make contact with the ball, and those strings, instead of being completely open, they're just slightly facing that way. This is top spin, this is flat ball. Those are the two things that I emphasize on the people that I teach and say, just remember, after you make contact, how is the racket crossing in front of you? If it's crossing lower and with the strings closed, with the tip of the racket pointing forward, that's going to be you accelerating more forward and flatter. If that racket looks more like it's crossing higher and you can see your strings, that's the easy way to brush. And if you're learning and you want to practice that, what you can do is you get close to the net and you stop the swing here. You can even emphasize on finishing in front of you here. And if you notice, my racket is almost facing me completely. It's not closing and it's not facing this way. It's almost facing me completely, just because I want to emphasize in the top spin and stop the racket here in front of you, because that's how the position of the racket crossing in front of you is what's going to show you, is what's going to emphasize on your body how you're going to be brushing the ball, how you're going to be putting top spin on it. Another reason why I like to teach it, and I say go with a short swing and slow, is because I want to hear the strings moving. I want to hear the top spin on the racket. This is a shot with no top spin. This is a flat one. See, and the racket finishes lower here. And this is more the guitar sound of the strings when we're brushing. And your body, when you practice any ground strokes, you break it down and you start from the beginning, shortening the swing and then expanding it. And you go slow, your body memorizes much better. And it's more difficult if you happen to have any bad habits like getting too risky or stuff like that. It's gonna be much more difficult to do it, to get rid of those bad habits when you're practicing the full swing. Break it down, start from very short swing and then start expanding it. It's like a reverse engineering. And you're gonna start going slow. That's when the body memorizes much better what you want to do, and it's easier way to catch what you want to do. You want to focus on the sensation. Try not to give to yourself like a ton of instructions. It's more, remember the sensations of everything you're practicing. If I'm gonna practice the backhand and I want to practice with top spin, I always start with my the people, with my clients, going one hand, and then we go with the other hand, and then they go together. And if you notice, the flat ball, it's hitting, starting with one hand is much easier to notice the difference between hitting that flat ball and the difference when you're brushing more. And it's easier for the body to remember that sensation. Flat one, brush with top spin. If there is one thing that I will suggest you pay attention whenever you're working, it doesn't matter what level of the game you are. You can be a pro, you can be a beginner. Instead of focusing too much on the instructions, on the list of instructions that you're supposed to do on the ground stroke, emphasize on, practice it slow, do on purpose what you're doing wrong. If you're getting too risky on the backhand here, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm hitting late here. All right, this is what I want to do. Okay, so you emphasize on doing it the wrong way, the way you're doing it, and then the right way. And that's how you can have the sensation in your body much easier what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right. And when you go out and hit practicing, because your body knows now the difference between one and the other, the correct one and the wrong one, is going to catch it. Don't pay attention to the shot at all. Don't, this thing, for years and years experience that I have teaching, if there is one thing that distracts us when we're working on something, that we can do good, we can do the shadow swings perfectly done, but as soon as we step on the court, we try to do the same thing and we can't. It's not, many times people think that they're doing something wrong. It's not nothing wrong. It's just this little green thing is an attention attraction. People pay way too much attention to this when they should be paying attention inside the bubble, meaning the swing. It doesn't matter where the ball goes. It doesn't matter how you hit it. You just want to try to hit it clean. That's how you start. Start hitting. You start hitting with the center of the strings. It doesn't matter if the ball flies long, but you start hitting the ball from the center of the strings, and you start paying attention more. Okay, how am I hitting that ball? I'm not really paying attention where it's going. And one thing that you're gonna find out is that when you start working on the ground stroke and your swing, the structure of the swing starts coming together, it's like a piece of Legos that everything starts clicking. You don't have to worry about the shot. You can hit the ball, do look away or close your eyes, and when you look at the ball is gonna go. Usually, it's not gonna start. It's gonna start going where you want it. One of the first things that you're gonna notice is when you start hitting cleaner, and your technique, your swing is getting closer to where you want it to be. You're gonna be more consistent, and even the shots that you miss, they're not gonna go long for too much. You're not gonna miss them for as much as you used to. But the one thing you want to do first is start hitting clean. It doesn't matter where the ball goes. And as I say, Going back to hitting flat and brushing, just remember, how is that racket crossing in front of you? If that racket is going lower and flatter, pointing forward in this position, I just missed your shot. You're hitting way too flat. If you want to put more spin, you got to extend that frame, go more like a roller coaster, down and up. That frame extends more from top to bottom, and it shortens from the back to the front. I'm not going to go down and then extend forward. No, no, no. I'm going to finish closer to me here. So it has got to go up. If you're going to be aggressive, then you grab the frame, narrow it down, and extend it from the back to the front. That's more like a radial wave that looks like that, instead of the radial wave that looks like a roller coaster. And that's the easy way to start paying attention how what kind of shot you want to make, especially if you're having problem adding top spin to your backhand. Okay, I hope it helps, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, guys.